Cheers to that.
Cheers, sir. Moti mouton.
Okay.
So,
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite Nigerian girl living here in Malta, Chiamaka. And today I have an amazing person with me, Mr. Adiniro.
hi guys, how are you doing today?
All right, thank you for joining me here. So guys, today on today's video, I'll be talking on some of the questions that I've been getting from you amazing subscribers about working, schooling, and transitioning to being a full-time employee here in Malta. And I wrote down most of the questions here, and I'll be asking Mr. Ade those questions. So why did you choose Malta, and how does it fit into your educational and career plans?
So basically, Malta for me was a sole decision because of cost and because of its benefit. So I think I've shared with people that when you want to travel out, you need to check your budget. You need to check what it involves and the benefits to you. I did an analysis because Germany was my choice initially, and apparently the amount I would use to pay my tuition in Germany would cost me half of it would, fully fund my tuition here in Malta. So that was the basic tick in the box for me. And also when I checked, it was an English speaking country. Officially the language is English that they speak here. So it's quite very easy for me.
Maltese though,
Yeah, so they speak Maltese, but English is still their first language, and that's the language I would use to learn in school, apparently.
Yeah.
So because of it, it felt like it was easy, unlike going to learn German and, being unable to communicate in Germany if I have to go there. And when you check, also the fact that the weather is very friendly. Exactly. So
ignore the fact that I'm wearing a hoodie. I mean,
it's a bit cold though, but
it's a bit cold today. Yeah, but okay.
But the weather is very friendly, unlike the freezing degrees you have in other places. So when I checked the whole compilation of all of these, and I think it's just Malta. Let's just go to Malta. So that's it. So in terms of Malta aligning to my educational background or my degree, I've always wanted an MBA degree. And I started this in University of Lagos, but I had to call it quit after the 8-month strike. So, I'm a Unilag dropout, by the way. So, anyways, I decided to still further that same MBA degree here in Malta, and even though at a greater cost, but regardless, it's something I wanted to do because of my career path. I've been in the medical industry, the sales and marketing for the pharmaceutical industry. And, because of it, the MBA degree was the right degree for me to get to keep going up the ladder. So that's why I chose Malta initially. So all of these things, do I regret it? No, I don't, not at all. So it fits perfectly into my financial bracket. It fits into my educational bracket. And, when it comes to the cultural aspect of it, it suits me perfectly.
Great. I know you recently transitioned from the student visa.
Who told you?
The grapevine, but yeah, that's okay. So I know you, you recently, right, switched from the student visa to the work visa route.
Yes.
And, congratulations.
Thank you. Let's look into that.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay. So what steps are involved in transitioning from a student visa to a work visa here in Malta?
My sister. Easy.
Can imagine.
So basically, I would not say it's difficult. It's not difficult, but there are so many hurdles to be crossed. And one of the basic hurdles that I didn't realize on time was you have to finish the degree.
Okay.
Yeah, so finishing the degree is very paramount, and I didn't realize they just changed the rules. Because previously, while we were trying to come in, they're like, okay, once you get the job, you can switch, you can transition. Yes, it was true. But what was true yesterday is not true as of today. Exactly. So, basically you have to finish your degree. You have to get a very good offer And, the offer depends on the company, the reputation of the company, because this would go a long way. If it's a company that is being flagged with Identity Malta or Identita, you might not be able to do much. Then also you need some certain documentations, which I'm sure would, in the course of the discussion, we'll talk about.
Okay. So, you did mention that graduating, completing your education was key, was paramount. So
Exactly.
you have to. So, and guys, this conversation is basically based on personal experiences as at today, as at now. It might change tomorrow. We can't say. As at today, the 15th of March. I mean, we're recording this at the 15th of March. On the 15th of March, you might see this at a later time. But yes, as at this time, this is still the information. If it ever changes, I would also try as much as possible to update it in the description box of this particular video.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the eligibility criteria for students to switch to a work visa in Malta? I know you did mention that they must graduate. Is there any other criteria to that?
Apparently, the first thing is that, one of the boxes you must tick is you must get an offer.
Oh, okay.
An offer is very paramount, and not just any offer. You must get an offer that stands or that suits the academic line you're towing. So for example, you cannot just get an offer as maybe as an engineer, and let's say you studied something different. You understand these things will be checked. So, and based on the offer, you need to proceed with some certain documentations that I would mention now. You have the academic degree, you have the job plus certification, which your employer will handle. Most of the documentations will be handled by your employer. You also need the the health screening. You need to go through the health screening and get it approved through the health directorate. And as of date, I know that they are still, trying as much as possible to incorporate the tuberculosis test for most third country national, and it's not free. You have to pay for it. When I did mine also, I was required to bring an MQRIC completion certificate, like what is my equivalent degree in Malta for my bachelor's. So they wanted to be sure that, okay, yes, this guy studied in Nigeria and he has a certificate before coming ahead for this. And, those are the basic things they ask for. Most of it is being handled by your employer, and you just have to do the rest by bringing some other documents. And lest I forget, they also require you to bring your housing authority approval. This is different from your housing contract. Your housing authority approval must be valid for at least a year, and showing that, you have an accommodation to yourself and the government recognizes that you are the occupant, or you are one of the occupants of the accommodation. So that's it basically.
Okay, so this response kind of ties nicely to, or rather answers this next question I was going to ask, if there were any specific requirements or documentation needed when applying for a work visa as a former student in Malta. So you've mentioned that you must have, of course, first and foremost, your certificate from your school as a graduate. You'd also have to verify your first degree to find the equivalent here in Malta. You'd also have to present your health screening. You'd have to present your housing authority. And is there any other one I'm missing?
Well, for now.
I mean, as at this time, yes, that is what it is.
Then you require your application fee, apparently.
Okay.
So based on the category, I think, it varies. Like mine, I paid at least 300 euros for it. So, but the company is refunding, apparently. That's the way it works. So for some people, the company might not refund. For some people, they would pay for you. So.
Okay. So, but how long does this process typically take to switch from a student visa to a work visa here in Malta?
So I cannot be specific because there are different strokes for different folks is the case. So, Malta has tried to categorize their work permits and how long it takes based on the salary range you're receiving. So, I think there's the ordinary employee, which they do not, give a category. So the salary range below 25,000 and below. So it falls within the ordinary employee. And as of date, I know that that process takes for at least 1 month, processing time with Identita. And the next stage is called the SEI. That is the Specialist Employment Initiative or Employee Initiative. And that's if your salary is between 25,000 and 35,000 euros per year annually. And the processing time for that takes roughly 15 days. So 15 working days for the processing time, which you get all your you get to do your thumbprints, you get your temporary authorization to work, and even within that 15 days, you can get your residence card or your work permit rather. And the third category is the KEI. So those are the boss of the bosses, when your salary is above 35,000 and above. So the processing time for that is known to be 5 working days. So apparently that's the way things are being run. It's been run on the hierarchy system. So
okay.
It depends on the job you get.
But of course, right, this is a disclaimer, another disclaimer. Of course, these things might vary and they might change from time to time.
Very true.
So just let's have that at the back of our mind. Okay, so can students switch to a work visa immediately after completing the studies, or is there a waiting period?
Well, I do not know of any waiting period to answer that question. The thing is, most students, as soon as you finish your degree and you get a certificate of completion from the school, you are eligible to apply. And of course, if you have an offer, you are eligible to, begin the process. I don't think there's any need to wait in between. And so if you're waiting, maybe you're still looking for a better offer. That's why you're waiting. Okay. But there is no waiting period for transition.
So are there any challenges or obstacles that students might encounter when applying for a work visa in Malta?
My sister, it's not easy. Well, for me, I think I need to drink to that because
cheers to that.
Cheers. Okay. So, anyways, I would say for a student to switch in between, the major challenge that might be there is just financial constraints. Let's be honest. Okay. And maybe lack of information. Okay. And I'm sure that's why we have YouTubers like you doing a great job, bringing this information to light. And the honest truth is, when you lack information, you always go the wrong route. Okay. So the basic thing for me was I was caught in between, how do I do this? For example, the health screening, I didn't know what to do at a particular point in time. So, but thank God I had a good, HR, and, they guided me through the whole process. In fact, in as much as booking the appointment for the health screening for me, in as much as sending the health screening to the authorities, the necessary authorities to get approvals for it. So it was seamless, a bit seamless for me. But aside from the phone constraints that you have to pay for maybe the health screening, though my employer paid mine, and maybe which other thing do you need to pay for? Maybe getting a new accommodation that is under your name, having to register it under housing authority approval, the process, these are things that would require funds. So as a fresh student out of school that perhaps was just, managing on shift, it might be difficult for you to cough out as much as 500 euros to finalize the whole process. You still have the application fee in between too. So my own application fee was around 300 euros. Even though I'm getting a refund for it from the company, but most students might not be able to have this on their own. And also, basically, it's just centered around funds and documentation. But if you have the right documentation, having everything, and you have someone to guide you, it's seamless.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dave, for taking our time to share your experience with us here. And one last question before we call it a day. What advice would you give to students who are considering transitioning to a work visa in Malta after completing their studies?
So I would advise anybody, any partner or any students transitioning, let's say, take your time. Everything works out in time. Source for the right information. Don't just jump into things. Don't just sign contracts that you ought not to sign sign. And again, when you're looking out for opportunities, look at opportunities that suits you best. Reasons being that once you sign the contract, you might not be able to back out of the contract outrightly. And remember that when you're signing this contract is the reason why you are in country. So if you lose the contract for any reason, you have to leave the country. So take your time, fall in love with the job, get internship opportunities in as much as you're a student, so you can brace yourself, prepare yourself for that career path ahead. Because trust me, no job is easy. So those are the few advice I could render to, or dish out for free.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate having you here. Thank you, guys. So until I see you in my next video, don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, come on, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that anytime I put out a new video, you are always among the first people to be notified. So until I see you again, ciao, ciao.
Bye.